Okay, give me a few minutes to explain to you why your anxiety is not getting better. Let me reveal to you the true reason behind the feelings that you're challenged with that isn't getting resolution. Now, this information that I'm going to share with you comes from my personal professional practice where I'm working with people every single week all over the world online as a hypnotherapist, an eye movement therapist, which is like EMDR, IEMT. So I have now 10 years experience working with people with anxiety, and I've worked with so many different anxieties. Now, not only have I done the work with people, but I also get messages every week. I get emails, phone calls every week from people who are seeking help to resolve their anxiety, to overcome it. And the most common question that people will say to me is, can I get back to being how I used to be, how I used to be before the anxiety? And the answer is yes. You can return to that way that you used to be. You can live that life where you were carefree, where you didn't have those anxious feelings, where you didn't feel on edge as if something was going to happen, where you didn't have an overwhelmed mind, where you had lots of what if thoughts going through your head. You can get back to that place where you can live more freely, where you can live in a state of ease, where you can feel free and easy within your own mind and body. But the number one thing that is stopping you and will stop your anxiety getting better is your reluctance to work on it. So I see people who come to me, they want to get better, they put the time and effort in, their anxiety gets better. I hear from people, I communicate with people who want to take action, who want help, but then they don't do anything about it. And then they come back again months later with more questions, more emails, and then they don't do anything about it. And then they tell me 6 months later that their anxiety is getting worse and they ask more questions. Your reluctancy to work on your anxiety is what is going to allow your anxiety to continue to take over your life, because you have to work on it. You have to work on the root cause of the feelings that are driving the experience. Once you work on the root cause of the feelings, once you work on the specific feelings in releasing them with things like eye movement therapy, with things like hypnotherapy, even NLP, once you work on releasing, collapsing down those feelings, you won't feel anxious. But if you keep going back and forth over, should I work on it? Oh, my anxiety's gone, but then it comes back stronger. Maybe I should do something about it this time, but I can't take those steps. If you stay in that position, you won't get any changes to your anxiety. You have to work on it. And one of the most common things that people have said to me from working with me is, I should have done this much, much sooner. I should have done this sooner because I've wasted months. Some people have wasted years. And over those months and over those years, and you may relate to this, things like their relationships have become challenged because of the anxiety. They haven't lived their life fully because they've stopped themselves from taking part in things or going out. Some people haven't even traveled because they've been so anxious. And then throughout the work that's done, they then think and reflect and say, I should have done this sooner because I've lost time. You don't need to lose any more time to your anxiety. You don't need to let your anxiety take over your life, your career, your relationship, your social life. You don't need to. What you need to do is work on it. You need to work on resolving the root feelings, the fear, the panic, the worry, the feeling on edge. And the fastest way to do that is through eye movement therapy. You can have sessions with me online. You can work with me 2 to 3 sessions a week or once a week if that suits your schedule, but you're going to get results. The number one thing that keeps people anxious is their inability to take action on it. And that doesn't need to be the case for you. The life that you desire, that freedom that you seek, trust me, is available because I see it every day, every week, and I have seen it for the last 10 years where people shift, people feel free, and then they move on with their life. But if you keep resisting the work, if you keep stopping yourself from actually taking action on resolving and healing the anxiety, it's not going to get better. It's going to spread across your life. It's going to get stronger because untreated anxiety does get stronger because it's trying to call for your help. Anxiety is like a call to action. It's like a toddler that is frustrated, that is crying, that wants to be soothed and healed. You wouldn't ignore the toddler. You would probably comfort that younger self or that younger toddler. You'd probably aid and assist it. That's exactly what your anxiety is asking you to do. That is the reason why it's not getting better, is because you're not taking action. So think about what your life would look like, what it would be like for you, how you'd be living if you weren't anxious. And take a moment to really consider that in your mind, to see it, to even hear what you'd say to yourself. Perhaps you can even think about some of the things that you do without your anxiety, that freedom that you'd be experiencing. Once you start to tap into that aspect of your thinking, where you start to think past your anxiety, you start to get the feeling, you should start to get that motivation that's going to help you to move forward to that desired destination, that way of living that you want and that you desire. If it's something that you want help with, reach out to me. I'd be happy to help you get the same results, if not better, than just like the people that I've worked with for the many, many years using eye movement therapy, hypnotherapy to help them feel free from anxiety.